Honestly, I'm not sure I've ever completed a resolution. Yeah, not a fan of resolutions, as you can see.
I don't actually make New Year's resolutions anymore. I find that when I do, I don't keep them. This year and at least the last 2 years, I have decided no more resolutions. And honestly, when I make goals and they're not called resolutions, I tend to do better.
I do not make New Year's resolutions normally, but if I were to make one, it would just be to savor every moment.
I don't set New Year's resolutions. Honestly, the word resolutions itself freaks me out. It has the sense of finality to it, the sense of pressure and expectation, like if you don't succeed with your New Year's resolutions, then you are a failure. Is that rational? No. What I like to do instead is check in with myself at the beginning of every year and think about my goal for the year, something I move toward, an aspect of my life I want to focus on more intently. My goal for 2022 is becoming punctual again, or just less chronically late than I am now.
Yeah, I always make New Year's resolutions. I think it's a really good opportunity to reflect on the past year and look forward to what you want to accomplish. Now, keeping them, I'm not so good at keeping them.
Growing up, there's this Peruvian tradition where you eat 12 grapes at midnight, and each grape is a New Year's resolution / hope or dream for the new year. And this year, one of my grapes is going to be a resolution to thrift more. I want a very maximalist wardrobe in the new year, like pants in every color, ruffles, as many puff sleeves as possible.
I want to read so many books this year. It would be my dream to just kind of sit in a bookstore and read everything that I get my hands on.
I don't set reading goals for myself, but for me, reading is already part of my job and it feels like a task because reading books teaches me how to be a better writer. And my goal for 2022 is not to read X number of books this year, but just to get back to that place, or at least get closer to that place where reading was just really, really fun. Just something I could enjoy for the sake of enjoying it.
You know, I don't like to put the pressure of having a reading goal for the year. It's what I do for fun. So I don't want to make it work by having to hit a certain number. So I guess my goal is just to enjoy the books I'm reading and get through my TBR list, because there's so many books that I wanted to read in 2021 that I didn't get to. I hope I get to them next year.
So I'm hoping to read 50 books this year. It's a goal I set every year. I'm usually pretty slow at the beginning, and then by December, I'm like, nobody talk to me. I need to catch up on my goal, and it just becomes really crunch time.
I would love to read, I don't know, maybe 30-ish books this year. Possibly, more would be great. But I do find that audiobooks make it easier to read more. But yeah, I feel like this year maybe it was 20 to 30. So anything better than that would be great.
The main character in Extasia is a young woman named Amity Barrow, and her family, they're having a hard time. Unsavory things have happened in their recent past, and now in their village, their reputation is a bit tarnished. She wants to restore her family's former glory, and she will do anything to make that happen. Does she succeed in this New Year's resolution to restore her family's reputation? To find that out, you'll have to read Extasia, and I suggest doing it with a light on if you read at night, because it is a horror novel. It's very scary, intense, bloody, and it was so much fun to write.
So Tessa would probably have 15 New Year's resolutions and a multi-step plan to make each of them happen. I think with Lenore, I don't think she would have a New Year's resolution. It would be intimidating to have one thing to focus on for the whole year. I don't think she would be down with that.
So I think Lulu would resolve to raise awareness about some kind of endangered species, but really obscure this time. So maybe a bug or a tree or something like that. And I do think she's successful, but only with the help of her classmates, which it might take her a second to realize that. Milagro would resolve to give 5 people makeovers, and I think easy peasy by the end of January, she's got them all done.
My main character in My Fine Fellow, his name is Elijah Little, and he is a cook. His resolution would probably be become a better cook / chef. His goal is sort of one long New Year's resolution, I would say. Does he complete it? I think you're gonna have to read the book and find out.
Sophie has incredible amounts of energy. It's how she gets so much done, but she's really insecure about it. She's worried that she's overwhelming people. I can see her having a resolution to overwhelm people less, but my hope for her is actually that she just learns to love who she is entirely and be herself. Xavier learns over time to let people in. Xavier would resolve to like, okay, let's let people in and find out more who that guy is inside that he's keeping tucked deep down.
I've actually had the same resolution for many years in a row now, and I haven't been successful yet. But I really want to go a whole year without buying any clothes. I want to just enjoy the stuff I have instead of getting new stuff. But we'll see. Maybe 2022 will be the year I actually follow through with this.
Once I resolved that I was going to be totally over this boy and I was never going to talk to him again, and then he showed up at the New Year's party I was at, and I immediately broke that resolution, and it did not go well.
This is a bit cliche, but it's probably some kind of diet or cutting some kind of food out of my everyday eating. And again, this is why I don't make resolutions anymore.
Many times over the years, I have tried to take up daily journaling as a resolution, as a goal for the year. Wow, has that just never ever worked. I just have never been able to make that happen. Those of you who do journal every day, I admire and applaud you. And to the beautiful journals sitting unused in my desk with only a couple of pages written on in each of them, I'm sorry, maybe I will write in you again someday.
In 2021, I resolved to make something I could wear, and I sewed my own dress. And it was really hard, and it was definitely not perfect, but I was really proud of myself.
One year when I was still trying to sell Dangerous Alliance, I probably made some kind of resolution to like rewrite the book. I feel like I probably made that resolution one of those years, and I feel like I completed it because, quite sure that I did.
In 2018, I made it my resolution to finish a book by the end of the year, and I actually finished the first draft of Happily Ever Afters on New Year's Eve, 2018. And I sold it to HarperCollins just a few months later.
Honestly, I'm not sure I've ever completed a resolution. Like, I'm sure when I was a kid, I made some resolutions before I figured out the whole resolutions are bad, let's just focus on goals philosophy. But I cannot remember a single one, therefore remember if I ever completed one. Yeah, not a fan of resolutions, as you can see.
One of my resolutions that I think I'm actually making headway on is to be kinder to myself. I tend to be really hard on myself in terms of my work product, in terms of my relationships with other people, and over time just learning, I am just one person.
More dance parties. I just want a world where it is healthy and safe to get all of my favorite people in the same room, to listen to my favorite songs, and just like bodies dancing everywhere.
It's been really hard and lonely being a debut author in a pandemic. And now my second book, One True Loves, is coming out in a pandemic too. What I'm hoping for in 2022 is to finally meet some of my readers in person. I hope in 2022 I finally get to meet some of you.
For this upcoming year, I feel like the last 2 years have been really, really tough for pretty much everybody. I'm hoping that for 2022, we can all sort of come together in a more demonstrable way than we have, that everyone can find maybe a little more peace and joy, and that the year is more bright than the last couple of years have been. That's what I'm hoping for. So happy 2022.